configurations and modulations of aims and strategies that characterize filmmaking practice, both within and across films. In doing so, it reveals an Altman barely glimpsed in previous critical accounts. This re-examination of his seminal work during the Hollywood Renaissance period of the early 1970s sheds new light on both the films and the filmmaker, reframing Altman as a complex, pragmatic innovator whose work exceeds, but is also grounded in, the norms of Hollywood storytelling. His films of the early 1970s display a classical plus relationship with Hollywood tradition, in which Altman works within and from key Hollywood storytelling norms while elaborating on and around them in order to also fulfill extra-classical or non-classical aims. Additionally, Altman's aims were not just or even primarily product-oriented. That is, he was not exclusively focused on producing perfectly polished Hollywood films, or even refined embodiments of his cinematic philosophy and overarching worldview. Instead, his objectives were significantly practice-oriented. Altman was focused on achieving and sustaining a particular kind of filmmaking experience that might provide greater opportunities for creative encounters with circumstance. The approach presented here holds significant implications for the study of cinematic authorship and of Hollywood's formal norms, calling into question long-standing assumptions about the subjects and methodology of auteurist criticism and the nature and dynamics of the Hollywood cinema. Displacing the ahistorical, thematic exegesis and impressionistic misdescription that have dominated accounts of Altman's films, this book strives to employ rigorous description, robust analytic frameworks, archival research, and, in places, statistical methods to demystify what are widely agreed to be the defining aspects of Altman's filmmaking. This book's findings require that we rethink the supposition that Hollywood names a cramped and rigid set of norms that Altman defied in the spirit of politically modernist art cinema. In demonstrating that this opposition has been overdrawn, the book provides a clear example of how a filmmaker might work collaboratively and pragmatically within media institutions to elaborate and expand on their sanctioned practices and aims. We misunderstand Altman's work and the creative work of Hollywood filmmakers in general when we insist on describing innovation as opposition to institutional norms. We do the same when we describe those norms as assimilating Altman's innovations instead of acknowledging the more complex range of possible relationships between filmmaking aims and strategies and institutional constraints and opportunities. In many ways, the imperative to manufacture a comprehensive study of a filmmaking career works against comprehension of filmmaking complexity. To insist on that complexity, this study takes a historically bounded approach, focusing on an iconic 6-year and 8-film period ranging from MASH, 1970, to Nashville, 1975. This period has been deemed essential to understanding both the Hollywood Renaissance as a broader movement and Altman's overall authorial profile. A careful re-examination and recharacterization of Altman's body of work in this crucial period provides a critical perspective on assertions about Altman's career both before and after. Such a re-examination also suggests a new model for understanding innovative filmmaking within and across institutions. Reframing Altman as an elaborative filmmaker, revitalizing Hollywood cinema, this book's chapters isolate for analysis the aspects of his authorial profile typically held to define his work and to defy mainstream norms. In each case, careful re-examination discovers Altman to be working situationally to expand the customary aims and capacities of Hollywood style by desanctifying some of its mustier standards and practices. His film's alleged narrative lack, for instance, turns out to be a perversely efficient approach to conventional Hollywood storytelling that integrates and alters rather than assimilates or approximates aspects of art cinema narration. In mathematical terms, Altman's narrative approach is additive rather than subtractive or simply equivalent to Hollywood standards.